Amon is hands down my favorite character in Schindler's List, because he's not the main character. He's not Schindler, and he doesn't even seem to have any redeeming qualities about him. He's crazy. He kills people for no good reason. And yet, it's that same carelessness that makes me care about him so much. He's so unbiased. I mean, of course, he sees the Jews as lower than himself and lower than humanity, because that's the Nazi regime. But he doesn't really seem to care about the Nazi regime anyways. That's how he's introduced.
Do you have any questions, sir? Yeah, well, it's top down. I'm fucking freezing.
He's just so sick of it all. And that sort of apathy is what appeals to me as a person, because he does not care. It's odd, but I see a lot of that in myself when it comes to social situations or education or whatever. We all have those days where we just don't feel like we care about anything. But what really strikes the viewer is Amon's charm, because it doesn't come from him being a likable person, it comes from him being respected, despite being a terrible person. And that sort of status is what's charming about Amon. But Amon ends up failing in the end anyways. However, when I saw him getting, well, justice, what he deserved, I felt bad. Because in the latter half of the movie, Amon has not a full, but a mild transformation. Schindler starts talking to him about what it really means to have power.
Power is when we have every justification to kill, and we don't.
And that influences him to at least try to be compassionate in ways that kind of fail hilariously and genuinely make me uncomfortable with how awkward they are. But he's trying, and I can respect that as a viewer of this character. Amon appeals to me because he doesn't care about anything until he chooses to. And that strikes me as really relatable. He also appeals to me because he seems like such a big waste of potential, which, out of laziness, I can see in myself. We've all had those days where we sleep in, or we don't do our work, or we don't handle our responsibilities, whatever. But Amon just feels like that throughout the entire movie, and you can't help but feel some sympathy for him.
I think you are drunk.
Because he's introduced as this scumbag who doesn't really know or care to do better. And as Schindler influences him, you get this guy who starts caring what other people think of him, and you get to see that almost human side of him, but not quite. And it's that sort of heartbreaking waste of potential that makes me, as a viewer, care about Amon so much. But that's just my thoughts.